Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Rise and Thrive podcast, where we support businesses, share our experiences, failures, challenges, wins, and how best we can support each other so we can rise and thrive in our businesses and side hustles. So remember, the last 2 episodes of the Rise and Thrive have been about business support, mentorship, networking opportunities, and business development support services, right? So we are still staying on that trend. I know many of you have reached out and said, no, we now want businesses, we want the male businesses. They will come, but for now we are focusing on how we can, support you that are already out there. I hope you enjoyed the session with Zimba Women. I've received great feedback and I've referred many of you to Zimba Women. I've also received great feedback from those that watched our episode with Paula from We Are Tessa. And today I am honored, right? And remember when we had Lukia, those for you that have been following, we had Lukia on the show and she spoke greatly and spoke amazing things about our next host and the group that she's currently heading. So we've been missing each other, but finally, guys, I have managed to get Diana on the show today. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to Diana Ninsiima Kibuuka. I'll let her introduce herself, and then we'll take on the discussion from there, and then you'll be able to see why I'm excited and why you should be excited about what value she's going to add to you today. So you're welcome to the show, Diana.
Thank you very much, Brenda. It's a privilege, really an honor to be here on Rise and Thrive. And for me, it's just seeing you bring this information to us with so much joy, with so much purpose. That's really exciting. So I'm a mother of 2 sons. I'm a wife.
Good.
I'm a sister to many, and an aunt to many, and a daughter. I like to define myself by the relationships that I have.
Yeah.
Because when all is said and done, relationships are the most important.
Yes, that's true.
Things you can hold on to, create, maintain, sustain.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm also honored to serve as the leader for BNI Business Network International in Uganda.
See? BNI. Do you guys remember how much we spoke about BNI? Finally. But there's one thing she's left out. I don't know how you call people who treat people are called doctors.
Yes.
So people who kuoza misango for us.
I'm also a lawyer.
What do you do professionally?
I'm a lawyer. That's my training, and I'm a partner in a firm where we focus on helping 3 kinds of clients.
Yeah.
Clients who are looking to, who are taking on projects, and they are either talking to people in the banks, financial institutions, or development partners, or partners who are putting equity into business.
Yeah.
And then we also talk to families who are doing estate planning. So if you have an estate to be planned, we also help you with that. And then we also help international NGOs come into the country and make sure that they are able to focus on their main thing, creating impact where they are. We look after their compliance. We look after their all the support services related to compliance.
And I think this is what excites me about the people that God has blessed us with on the show. I think there's a time we had a doctor. We've had different kinds of people on the show. And for me, it's exciting because when people think of business, some people think other professions are not cut out for business.
Yes.
And then here you are, a lawyer, and you're heading Business Network International.
Yes.
So I'm just going to go right into it. How does a lawyer then get entangled into Business Network International?
Thank you for that question, because it really started again with the law.
Yeah.
I was providing a service to a client.
Yeah.
And one thing I always tell people doing business, you don't know who's coming through your door.
Yeah.
So treat each person like you would an honored and trusted customer.
Yeah.
So when he came through, he told me about Business Network International, Global, and Kenya. And I remember telling him that, I'm not really interested in networking.
Yeah.
I have a sufficient network. And as a lawyer, anyway, I don't need that, I don't need to be out there networking.
Yeah.
But over time, he actually persuaded me by demonstrating to me that the values of Business Network International, which are about giving, about helping other people grow their business through word of mouth referral, talking positively about people's business. He told me that those values are values I live.
Yeah.
Why? Because even when I was helping him with legal services, I was helping him find supplies for his home, for his office, I was meeting 360 connections for his needs.
Yeah.
So it's that persuasion on, he told me, you are BNI, you're living out the values. That's what persuaded me to get on a flight, go to Nairobi, attend a morning meeting at 6:30 a.m. to learn more about BNI.
Yeah.
And I remember what struck me in that meeting is I found business owners, Kenyan business owners, doing business without asking for commission. That's what struck me.
Yeah.
I said, is it possible that people can actually do business without
asking,
Funira muwa?
Yes.
What's my cut?
Like,
and
I'm just referring you honestly.
Passing business. I know that you supply good computers. I introduce you to my network. I introduce you to a procurement lead that I know is looking for a good supplier. And there's no njaulo
of any sort.
So for me, that's what drew me in. So it was the values that I was attracted to the most. And it's those values and principles that I thought of bringing here.
Yes.
So that was my inspiration. That people could do business and are doing business without asking for commission, without trying to sabotage each other and actually wishing each other well.
I think that's exciting. I like that you took that leap of faith and paid for your ticket and said, I have to go. So I wanted to comment about the 6:30 meetings because I failed to attend BNI because of the 6:30 meetings. But just to take you back then, what is BNI? Who is BNI? And what do you do at BNI?
All right.
Yeah.
So BNI, first of all, stands for Business Network International. It is an organization. The most simplest organization I can relate it to is Rotary.
Yeah.
Where Rotary brings people together to serve for a common good.
Yeah.
BNI brings people together in a structured system to help business owners who are members of BNI to grow their business through word of mouth marketing, through referral marketing. What does that look like? Simply, any business owner who is a credible and trustworthy business owner and is running a credible and trusted business which delivers when it says it will deliver, provides what it says it will provide. Once you're part of BNI, you have access to a local network. In Uganda, we have over 350 members today.
Oh, okay.
In Kenya and Tanzania combined, we have over 800. With Kenya and Tanzania combined, we have close to 900 members. So by end of this year, we should have 1,000 networkers under the BNI network in East Africa.
In East Africa, yeah.
In Uganda, we should be at 500. When they meet physically in the morning meetings, or they use the platform that is there for BNI members, they can actually talk to people in the same business category, same business space, and refer each other, or they can ask specifically for help they need, and people are able to refer them. How it works globally, many times businesses in Uganda are looking to import, and we have been able to connect members with members across Middle East and Asia, across Europe, who are looking to bring in goods. And for members locally, it's really that conversation of how can I help you by creating an introduction, by creating a referral that will give you opportunities. Yes, so it's creating opportunities in a nutshell.
So really, it's network marketing.
It's not network marketing.
Not network marketing.
Network marketing. It's referral. It's a platform which gives you the opportunity to grow your business through referrals. Network marketing, on one hand, asks that you bring people together and each one is buying or selling a product. In BNI, there's no product. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify this.
Yeah, because
in BNI, there's no product. There's no BNI merchandise that you're going to sell. What is expected is that every business owner is building their marketing team.
okay.
How do they build their marketing team? Every time we meet, we educate each other about what we do.
What you do.
And then we make a specific request for help, support. And you can imagine all over this city, there are over 350 businesses who are meeting weekly and they ask for help. And together, that has directly translated in the past year to over 32 billion Uganda shillings passed among those businesses. So it's really a melting pot where businesses support each other to grow their individual businesses.
Okay. Yes. I thank you for that clarification, because many times I was speaking to someone the other day and they're like, no, BNI seems like what's this marketing? Like
pyramid.
Like a pyramid kind of thing. And I kept trying to tell them that is not what I know about BNI.
Yes.
So I'm glad you've clarified it, which is very important, because many times I will sit with you, Diana, and you may have the opportunity I'm looking for, or you may have the advice that I'm looking for. And for me, it validates these conversations that you're able to meet and then have a discussion and share ideas and opportunities. But why 6 in the morning?
First of all, there are meetings in Kampala, which are happening not at 6 a.m. We have a meeting every Thursday, last Thursday of the month, which happens at Serena, Kampala, at 5:30 p.m.
Oh, okay. I thought it was only in the morning.
We are running a group which will be meeting at 11 a.m. online.
Oh, okay.
So why 6 a.m.? Because it's your first crucial meeting of the day. You have no disruptions going to a BNI meeting at 6 a.m. You're able to manage your stakeholders and show up and be present. Then the meeting ends at 8:30 a.m. So when people come into the room, they first of all network with each other, get to know each other. But the actual meeting, the sit down, is for 7 a.m. And then the meeting runs from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
But it's really to eliminate distraction. And it makes it powerful because we're waking up to do business. And when you come with that mindset, there's no distraction even in the room. You're able to focus on what you do best.
Yeah, because no one is calling you at 6 or at 7. That's very powerful. And then you can also go on with the rest of your day.
Yes, you can then, you have the rest of the day to follow up on the marketing leads that you've been given and engage people that you want to reach.
You mentioned something powerful about interacting on the BNI platform.
Yes.
So do you have a digital app that your members use?
Yes, so we do. And that digital app allows members in Uganda access to the over 300,000 members across the globe. So they do not need me as an intermediary to make those connections. They literally go on. We have a lot of business happening between members in India, Uganda, members in Dubai, and members in Uganda, because these are some of our big trading partners as a country. We've seen also business between China, Uganda on this platform. And the magic is that everybody owns sort of their real estate. So imagine we have a shop and mall with many offices. So in this digital platform, everybody has their real estate. You can put your videos, you can put your website, you can put photos, and of course the basic information about your business and how to be contacted. So everybody across the globe just searches Uganda looking for this kind of business, a baker, electrician, and they're able to connect. But for the Ugandan businesses, the biggest support, the biggest leverage they're getting now from global using that platform is supply. Source, credible suppliers, credible source of business that's coming in for them. And then the way they're using the platform locally is to interface across and see who can I collaborate with, who can I do business with locally, who can I support, and who can support my business.
And I guess you guys can see the importance of business, of networking and being a part of a group that is supporting you, right? I think that's the biggest value that I see BNI giving. Because I mean, if I want a supplier from India, I think I shared in one of the businesces that I lost. I was trying to import towels. So what I did is I just went onto is it Alibaba? And I hooked up with a Pakistani guy. I didn't know that guy. He sent me towels as a sample, and then when I went in for the kill, he went quiet, radio silence. Never heard from that guy up to now. So I imagine if I had the opportunity of a BNI at that time, it's easy for me to go and say, okay, all the members are vetted and they are known, and this is a global network. So you know you are dealing with a credible person.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. But now I know the times I've interacted with BNI members. There's Sunrise, Achievers, I don't know what. There's a recent exhibition you had at UMA, and I kept seeing different groups of people, but it's still BNI. So is that how BNI operates? Do you have different, maybe you can speak to that?
Okay. So the powerful thing about being part of BNI is that you join a group.
Okay.
That select group gives you exclusivity. It provides you a marketing team, but it also gives you exclusivity. So Rukia, the cleaner who was here on your show, is part of a group called Achievers.
But
in BNI Sunrise, which is another group, we have a cleaner. In BNI Integrity, which is a first group that was formed 9 years ago, we have a cleaner. In BNI, Amazing, which is a group, which meets on Tuesday, we have a cleaner. So what business owners who join a BNI group find is that they have exclusivity within this group. In the group, there's no competition when it comes to your cleaning services. In the group, you find the whole team is supporting you when it comes to cleaning. And how do they support you? The key thing people find is feedback.
Yeah.
Who's using your services? What are they telling you about it? Additional support to grow your business, to make your business credible. People have found social media expertise, tax expertise, accounting expertise. Why? Because your business needs to thrive for it to actually continue to be sustainable.
That's true.
They found relationships in this group because it allows them then to be nurtured and to build their business in a safe environment. So the reason these groups exist is that BNI has a policy that in each group, only one business can be represented per business category. So only one commercial lawyer, only one tax advisor, one accountant, one auditor would be in that group. So that exclusivity strengthens your business. First of all, you're able to provide a competitive business because you are learning from others. How can I do what I do best? But also you're able to add complementary services to your business because of this powerful team that you're working with, powerful team of credible businesses that you're working in. So in time, you find your competition being outshone because you have new ideas, you have new products, you have new creativity, innovations coming through, and you're able to refer your business within that group.
Yeah, I think that's that.
That's why there are many groups. Right now there are 8 groups.
There are 8.
By the end of the year, there should be 11 groups.
Yeah, because I know the power, and maybe you can. I don't know if it's one of your success stories. We can talk about later. But what I found powerful is, I think it was either Lukia or Yasmin, because I've had 2 or 3 guests from BNI who spoke about the royal wedding in Busoga, how most of the service providers were all members of BNI, and also because of that referral. I'm in a group, I've been procured to make cake. There's a decorator and all of that.
So there are many stories as you share, but the powerful thing is that when you are working with a group of business owners and you can trust the quality, you've tested them yourself. And then you get the opportunity to work together in a large platform like that. It even gives you more credibility because you can count on the fact that the person doing the decor has a strong brand and will deliver. Your cake will not be overshadowed. So yes, at the royal wedding, the florists, the decorators, Shamim of Eye Candy is from BNI. Bake For Me, the cake. Brenda Sakabembe is in BNI. James Lubinga of Paramount Studios in BNI. Exceed Catering did the food. One of the serving spaces for the royals is in BNI. Is a BNI baby born in, nurtured through BNI. So it's very powerful. The stories they share when they are able to collaborate together in the field, knowing that they can trust the quality from that is being, showcased across the whole band. But another quick success story, again in the event space, is Serene Beauty. Most of us know Serene Beauty.
Yeah, I know Serene Beauty.
Plus, they do makeup.
Yes,
and
amazing
very
makeup.
beautiful makeup. And wedding teams. They work with wedding teams. And when she made 15 years as a business, they wanted to celebrate. So she was able to get resources from within BNI, to host a giveaway wedding.
Oh.
The wedding cost would have been about 250 million. But again, the service providers within BNI all provided it for free to celebrate with Serene Beauty 15 years.
Wow.
So the bride was dressed by Penny Bold bride, or again, James Lubinga, Paramount provided video, and another photographer provided video alongside. The food was catered for, the cake was catered for. So all this is possible because, one, we trust each other. There's no competition. You only see an opportunity to collaborate. Even at the recent Bride and Groom Expo, if you went these last 2 weeks, there was a group called BNI Excellence Events Team. Again, that's a group in BNI. It's called BNI Abundance. BNI Abundance. And together, the decorator, the cake person, the tent person, music, sound, restaurant, they came together, created a space where they could showcase each other. So there's no competition.
There's no competition.
You're actually looking for opportunities to collaborate. You're actually creating value for other people because you are exclusive. You know that if I shine, my colleagues shine. If my colleagues shine, I shine.
And so that is healthy collaboration, which is something some people don't know how to have.
True.
I think that healthy collaboration is created because of trust, and that trust is because you've networked together. I mean, if you're waking up at 6 to share ideas, do referrals, give feedback, so you're comfortable to refer anyone in your group and say, you know what, I'm sure this person will do that job, which I think comes because of, it's an advantage of being a part of a group, something that BNI would offer.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, remember, BNI has been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
BNI is in over 70 countries across the globe.
70.
It's been tested in different languages. The language of business is the language of referrals.
It's referrals,
we refer people we trust. We refer people we like. We refer people we know. We refer people we trust. And BNI increases that trust quotient because you meet every week.
Yeah.
Definitely, if I see you every week, I begin to see certain characteristics. I begin to know I can trust you. We are intentional about referrals. So people give each other referrals intentionally. So that is a measure. Are you actually passing business referrals?
Yeah.
And it's a key indicator which measures whether or not you're actually benefiting from the system.
Yeah.
And then we also measure how much money is coming out of these referrals. So at the end of the day,
that's
the size of the group is important. We have some groups which are 83 members. We have some groups which are 35 members. But in each group, across each group, you will find referrals are being passed and business is being passed.
So then you track the referrals.
We track the referrals,
the actual business closures, and the value of those businesses.
So I can give you the biggest chapter, for example, BNI Sunrise. It has 83 members. They meet on Wednesday morning. They, in the last 6 months, they've passed over 4,000 referrals amongst each other. Those 83 members, and they've done business over 9.3 billion. So you begin to trust each other, and the system gives you proof that actually I can trust Brenda. So then it's a win for the business people in the room. So
would the podcaster benefit? Because I'm thinking
significantly.
I need to join a group ASAP.
Significantly. Why? Because there are 3 things which make BNI you succeed. First of all, understand that BNI as an organization creates a platform.
Yeah.
For you to present your business and for people to amplify it. That's what you're doing here using your podcast. You're amplifying people's stories. You're telling them in different ways. But the purpose is to help others rise and thrive. Those who are already in business should thrive.
That's true.
Who's amplifying your voice? BNI would amplify
my voice,
your voice.
Yeah.
The 350 businesses in BNI are all looking for answers. Who's speaking to them? But also, it would allow you access to understand these people's needs, to understand a segment, and then it would allow you to also speak out and say, this is what I'm looking for. This is where I need to be. This is the support I need. Now, today, in your current space, who's supporting you? Who's looking out for you? Your team
over there.
Your team, right? Now,
My
if
team,
you had
yeah.
a team of 350 business owners, if
yeah.
you had a team of 83 weekly talking
yeah.
about you, but you could tap into 350 thingy, wouldn't you find value?
There's
for
definitely
your time?
value.
Yeah.
So guys, there's nothing else I can add. I think Diana has spelled it out really openly, and that is the value of being in a business, being part of a business network of whatever kind, right?
Yes.
The fact that you're able to be uplifted
Yes.
in a space where no one would ideally do.
Yes.
I think that's very powerful.
Yes.
There's something that one of my guests mentioned, Lukia, that is part of BNI, about the 3 principles that BNI goes by. I think it was visibility, credibility, and profitability.
Yes.
Do you mind shining light on that?
I can definitely do that. Please understand, when you're running a business, you're serving an audience. So who's your audience? How are you reaching them? And how are you creating visibility for yourself? So when you're a part of BNI, you have a marketing team in your group. And every week what you're doing, you're creating visibility for yourself and for your brand.
And for the brand,
I'm beginning to talk to businesses in BNI and say, we're no longer just selling, we're building brands. Because people associate certain things with the product and service that you deliver. So that visibility continuously creates credibility. And that credibility builds up into profitability. Because as we speak about the Bake For Me brand, it stands out. You trust that you'll get your cake on time.
Get it on time,
Makes sense? But that credibility has been built over time. And a big part of the leverage that they used was BNI. So I tell people, don't focus on what kind of business you're running. Some people say some businesses are too big, some businesses are too small. No. Every business benefits from visibility. And that's why our top 10 taxpayers are always on billboards in front of you. You already know them.
You know them,
But their spend, their marketing spend is significant so that they remain top of mind. Even if you're not using their services today, maybe tomorrow, maybe your children, maybe. And then the credibility that comes from visibility is, what are we seeing you do? In BNI, I've told you, we already have measures in place. I know as a business owner, this is how I can benefit. How can I benefit? This is my marketing team. We measure how many referrals everybody is giving and receiving. We measure how much business everybody is giving and receiving. So we know that as a system, BNI works. And we can work with a member who's struggling, who's having challenges, to build their credibility so that they can become profitable. The profitability grows through the relationships you build, the collaborations you have, and that is exponential because it just replicates itself. Once you're already a trusted brand, people buy you because of who you are. They're not going to compare the service, that you offer against another if you're a trusted brand.
Because they trust the brand, they've seen it, they've experienced it. So
they've had other people talking about it. So those 3 pillars really allow a business to skyrocket.
Okay. Because when she mentioned it, I really liked it. I'm like, every business needs to go by those principles. No matter, and truth to what you said, no matter how small a business is, you have to be visible if you want to get to the bigger level. So you can't say that's a bigger business, a smaller. If you're running a business, visibility has to be key, right? So visibility, credibility, all of these result to profitability, which is why you're starting the business anyway. You're running a business, so you're profitable.
And that's how it remains sustainable.
That's how it remains sustainable. Okay, and then when the members join, I know you mentioned that, the operations are in different groups, right? So how then do you fill up groups? So say if we are, I'm joining, for example, with you, we are 2 podcasters. Do we then start our own individual groups? Is the onus on me to build my own group, or is the onus on the BNI leadership to build the group into something that can add value to its members?
All right. Yeah. So it's twofold. For the existing groups, there's always room in the existing groups for specific for people to join. So like the group which has 83 members, you find they have diverse people, cleaner, school, they have 2 schools, bridal, company, cake company, etc., photographer, they have 2 photographers, one does commercial, one does wedding. They have a whole team around events. And then you find that they still don't have a podcaster. Makes sense?
Yes, makes sense.
So some categories are unique. They'll still be able to fit into a
the
bigger
existing
groups.
Okay.
But then there are some unique categories like cake, bakers, like tax advisors, like photographers. Those are quickly taken up. And because they're taken up, we as BNI start creating additional groups. So if you're interested in joining a group, the first thing we say is visit a meeting. Because in that meeting, we shall advise you whether it's possible for you to join an existing group or it's impossible. And if it's impossible for you to join that existing group, where do we put you? Yes. So we have a system which allows visitors in another group to be placed in a group where they have there's no one in that category of business, and if it can't happen there, then we create a group and together for them. And begin to work with the new members to build that group.
And when you join the group, then what is required of me? Beyond just coming for a meeting. I've come for the meeting, and you can tell that I need to be in that particular business or group. What would you then require of me?
So simple. One, visit a meeting. When you visit a meeting, how do you get there? You go online, bni.com, Uganda.
bni.com, Uganda.
You look for Uganda. When you come, they'll ask you where. If you want information about our meetings, we meet on Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning. We meet at different hotels depending on the convenience. Skies Hotel, Fairway Hotel, Golf Course Hotel, and Serena Hotel. So depending on the convenience, you're able to plug into that. When you come for the meeting, you will be expected to introduce yourself at least and your name, and then just observe. At the end of the meeting, you will be informed on a few things. The first thing, we look for registered businesses. We've had people come in and actually register. So we're helping Uganda compliance, with registered business.
Remember what we talked about? Register the business.
And also, I think one of the challenges, listening to the many problems you had with hassles, if it's a hassle and not a registered business, you're not going to invest the time, the resources, the learning, the strategic planning, for the business. So we look for registered businesses. We want credible businesses where someone can refer you and you can actually grow. So it's not about the size of the business, but it's about the registration, compliance. The second thing we look for, we will come and interview you. So it's not automatic that when you come to BNI, you automatically are given a place to sit and a check to, that fill out. No. We want to interview you. We want to understand if your values, remember what drew me to BNI? The values. Do your values align with our values? A critical value for BNI is you must be willing to give, to help other people grow their business. It cannot be a one-way street. You can't be coming just to receive. Another critical value of BNI is that you must have a credible business. So we want to see, is this business real? Do you say what you can do what you say you can do? And it's not about having a location, but it's about actually being able to deliver. So we look at your clients. Do you actually have clients? What do they say about you? So this interview is personal, it's one-on-one, and it's engaging. You're able to speak. And ask questions. So we get a lot of questions also. Why 6:30? What is expected of me? These are my expectations. How will I be sure I can make money? And we tell them it's really about building relationships. We talk about the values. We talk about what is expected of you in terms of time and participation. So it's a conversation more than it is a recruitment.
A real recruitment interview. Yeah.
Yes.
And then if the person
says yes, then they make the payment and then they're able to join the group.
How much is the payment?
Okay, so we have groups which are starting out. The starting out fee is about 2.9 million, including VAT. And if you're joining an existing group where people are already doing business, and that is about 4.7 million, including VAT.
Okay, 4.7. It's higher because the business is already set up. Value.
Yes, we also because we did a price increase this year, but we allowed new businesses which were still in formation to first come in and grow. We wanted to give them an opportunity to.
Is this a one-time payment?
It's a one-time payment for a year.
It's an annual fee.
It's an annual fee.
Okay.
And the fees I've given you include VAT. We collect VAT on behalf of the government. If your business is VAT registered, you're able to claim it. If you're not VAT registered, you're a final consumer.
And I think that the fees make sense to me, because if indeed you are deriving all the value that you've spoken about, if you're getting referrals every week, if you are, if your business is being supported to be compliant, you're being given, do you offer some business development support along the way?
What I've found is members within BNI offer each other business development support. This week, coming week, for example, I have a group who are going to learn from another person how to do a personal brand, how to build a personal brand.
Okay.
Now that's a free, almost free service, which you wouldn't. Every tax cycle, when the tax rules are changing, we have BNI members who offer advice on tax changes. How is this tax going to affect your business? If it's going to affect your business, how do you? So we find that the business support, business development happens in the room, peer to peer, which is even more powerful. Because there's that follow up, there's that conversation which can continue.
Yes. Okay, so that 2.9 is really worth it, and that is it every year.
That every year. For this year, there's that offer to people who are joining for the very first time and joining groups that are just forming, 2.9. But the fee for people who are in existing groups is 4.7. And next year, it will be 4.7 across the board. So now is a good time to plug in.
I'm looking at Agri.
Now is a good time to take advantage of the offer and then plug in.
Because there's value. I mean, if your business can't grow without you spending, you look at it as an investment in your business. You're investing in a network, you're investing in a support system. It's value for money, if you ask me. So guys, we have 6 months?
6 months.
We have 6 months. So I'm just going to ask you something that has sort of been the theme since I started this podcast. So when I started it, we were just getting off Women's Month in March, and I thought this would be an ode to all the women, hustlers or business people out there. And we see that there is really a struggle, right? There's a struggle where you sometimes don't get full women-owned businesses that are thriving to the level that certain men or male-owned businesses are at. In your experience through BNI and the support that you give, right? What could be some of those issues, and how have you supported the businesses owned by women in your network? Okay. One of the biggest issues women businesses face is because women are not focused. Oh, okay. Yes. And it's because we have different roles. Men are able to balance those different roles well. What I encourage women to do is effective stakeholder management. I think we forget that our key stakeholders are our spouses, children, in-laws, family members. At all material times, I really try to keep my husband updated. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. This is what's happening. When he was starting BNI, I introduced him to my partners. I have partners who are not in Uganda. For every significant business decision, I have tried to make sure he meets the key implementers, the key people who I'm working with. I invite my business colleagues home.
to meet, to relate, and I've understood their boundaries between business, home. I'll give an example. I was hosting the BNI East Africa conference last year, September. My father-in-law passed away. I couldn't continue. When he passed away, immediately I told my team I'm not available. And I went in just in the morning to greet my international visitors, and I left. And I didn't. For me, what was important was my family. I think women, we lose focus. We don't prioritize, and we give up. When it comes to crucial points. I remember there've been times in my business when I've been tired and I feel I'm so tired and I want to give up. But many times it's been an encourager, a man or woman who says, no, this season won't last. Understanding that this season won't last. Push through, navigate it. Then women, we don't know how to ask for help.
That's true.
We don't know how to ask for help.
We look at it as a sign. Sometimes we think they'll say you're weak.
Yes.
You're not a good mother.
I have learned to stand on the table and say help, and I've learned to encourage women. Women in business, I ask them, how can I help? Are you well? What support do you need? What information do you need? Sometimes that's all they need, but they're stuck. And then the last thing is women, we need to build teams. We need to stop fearing competition. We need to trust people in our teams. Now, you may have had a bad experience. You may have seen a bad experience. But learn how to put measures in place. One example I give is my home team. I recruit as if I'm recruiting for a serious job. I pay as if I'm paying for a serious job. I give leave. I give sick cover. I give sick leave. Because at the end of that day, if I expect to perform at 100
in your business
outside the home, the home also has to be covered 100. There is no way that a gap in the home is not going to affect me. And when you talk to very successful women who are older than myself, many of them tell me, make sure you're covering all your bases. Don't just focus on the business and forget the children, don't forget the home, don't forget. So I read a lot. I try to encourage. I share a lot of information. I want to share one woman leader that I'm actually following now. She's called Mrs. Ibukun. She's a Nigerian. Ibukun Awosika. She was the chairperson of First Bank, Nigeria, a listed company. She has been in manufacturing for over 35 years. She has raised 3 sons and she has a husband. And she shares a lot on YouTube. I follow her on YouTube, on her videos, But for me, she's beginning to speak wisdom into my life,
your current life,
because she has walked tough journeys. And she says one of the principles she's lived by, she always said, I won't compromise, I won't sleep with a man for business, and I won't make a deal, I won't pay a bribe. She's a very strong Christian. She talks about how her Christian faith has carried her. She says, she amplifies that it's not so much what's happening in the economy, but it's God's economy that you should be focused on and your place in God's word. So she's sharing a lot of wisdom with me in this season, and it's a personal tutor through YouTube. But I think women, we sit and we feel like everything is too big for us. The world is too big for us. Challenges are too big for us, and we give up. We give up on ourselves first. Then we give up on others and we give up on the business. So what do I do specifically for the women in BNI? One, I've created a space for women in BNI. So I have a Women in BNI platform. That place people find encouragement. They also find support for what business they're looking for. For the women I work closely with, we have a significant number of women in leadership in BNI. Intentionally, I recruit women to lead leadership positions. And then I continuously ask the question, how are you? Because if they are well, if they are fine, as a woman, if you're okay,
everything
will be okay. But if you're mentally breaking down psychologically, emotionally, then everything will not be okay. And I think I one of the critical things is women. Again, I just want to amplify. Know who your stakeholders are. And make sure you're speaking to them. Make sure you're leveraging. Make sure you're having meaningful conversations with them. Don't assume. Women, we assume a lot, but we don't have the conversations. And even with ourselves, we don't have the tough conversations.
Okay, I think that's very, very key, because much as BNI is for both men and women, I like that you are creating a space also, because our challenges are unique.
Yeah.
Like you said, you are thinking about, am I a good mother? Is this taking away my values as a wife? Am I, supporting the society in a way? Whereas men normally, if it's business, they are focused on business, because the woman is covering all the bases for them. So who is covering the bases for the woman? And it's a theme that most of the mothers that I've had on the podcast before.
Yeah.
One thing they've said, and you have mentioned it as well, is you have to create a team or a structure that helps you thrive at home. You don't have to cook every day. You don't have to bathe the child every day. If you can, well and good. But if that one day you need to run out and do a business errand, is there someone covering for you? Right? So I like that. It's important to create that structure and balance. And I think we shall link the name of, you said Mrs. Edukun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ibukun?
Yeah, we shall link her name, and so that someone out there can also draw the same inspiration.
Yes.
And I also hope that when you watch Rise and Thrive,
I know
you go out there and speak the way Diana has spoken about this particular lady, right? I hope you're getting value and I'm changing your lives one way or another, at least your business lives anyway. So as we, wrap up this discussion, I just have two questions, right?
Yes.
We had shared some success stories. You've mentioned one or two, but what is that success story that when I wake you up and say, Diana, what has been your biggest success story at BNI?
Yes.
What would that be?
That always puts me in the hotspot, because there are some where it's about the money.
The money, yeah.
But there are some where I've seen growth.
Yeah.
One powerful success story is a lady called Sharon. She's fresh. The company is Freshly Clean. She does cleaning.
Clean, yeah.
And when she came in literally with a broom and a brush. That was her cleaning company. The broom and the brush, she would sweep for it. She was the one who would do the work. She would take off her, dress, put on the overalls, clean. Yeah. Today she has a team of over 70. She has equipment.
How long has she been with BNI?
She has, I think, 4 years, I think. Yes, she's led in that chapter. Yes. She's been the president of that team. She's leading in another chapter. I've seen her confidence grow. I've seen her blossom. And I've seen, of course, her business grow. She's had personal challenges, and the team, the family of BNI has supported her. So that's one personal story. That's
amazing, yeah.
The Serendipity story I talked about, also seeing that we can impact our community, give back. That's powerful. But the business story I always also share is Exceed Catering. Again, it was a business when Olivia Muchunguzi and Brian, when Olivia became a member of BNI, she had a dream to provide exquisite catering to people. Yeah. And today she's living that dream. Yeah. It's a big brand, big business, but it all started in BNI. She had a passion and she believed that she could offer this service to the world. And so I have people who've done deals of $1 million US, but I also have people who come in with a broom and a scrub,
which is the normal omuntu awansi really.
And today they're thriving, leading, thriving, blossoming. In spite of challenges, they've been able to push on.
And that could be me and you.
I have a story of a gentleman who used to sit in a container outside the All Saints Church. That was his office. Today he has a floor in Tinder, data analytics. And it's because of his determination. But a marketing team goes a long way. Yeah. He's now working with global brands. He's now working internationally. This week he's visiting Philippines for the Philippines BNI conference. He's going to Hong Kong. This is someone who got a passport when he joined BNI. So there is value. As a mature man, he had, he's been able to grow and support his family.
Yeah. Okay. So the downside, have you had any bad experiences where businesses come and you're like, okay, I can even give you back your 2.9?
Yes. Oh, I have. Yeah. The funniest thing is that when I started business, doing BNI, people laughed at me. They did not understand what I was doing. And they said, you're going to collect all the abafere in Uganda. They're going to be under you. And it was a prayer. I said, God, please keep all the abafere away. But once in a while, you do get some. There was a gentleman who said he was selling cars. Unfortunately, he took off with someone's money. He did not deliver a product. It made us more rigid, and who do we let in? But then the challenge most people suffer, they say that's the problems I face. People claim they can do something. A caterer says I can cook, but their business is not, they can't. Then you do have people who get overwhelmed. We had a ticketing agent who was doing very well, thriving, had a lot of business, but then got overwhelmed and fell into challenges because of that, began using money. I get money from you for a holiday, and I pay it on agri instead of paying it on you. So we do have challenges, but I think challenges make us stronger.
They make you stronger, because now they improve your processes as well.
Now we know what to look out for. We know what safeguards to put in place. We know also to advise members that, please, this is a business space, utilize it, but maximize, make sure you're actually going to get your return. So those are the challenges where members do not do what they say they'll do, or they get overwhelmed and they do not know how to say no. And they just keep saying yes, and
they just get into debt swallowed, and things like that.
Swallowed, or they fail to deliver.
Okay. And I know I'd say too, but something just came of the conversation. Do you have processes where you can tell the red flags through the meetings? Can you tell that, okay, this member is overwhelmed? And then do you support them in that process?
So we've had people who had significant challenges. I'll give an example. A member passed away. But the BNI members went and supported his spouse. Tax, letters of administration, managing affairs, and today she's in BNI. She's thriving in BNI. So it gets to that point. We've had members who've lost spouses, children, and people come together and parents, and they support through the process financially, emotionally, and support the business to make sure that it actually survives. When it comes to finances, we normally work with accountants, tax advisors in your group. How can we support you? Many times the challenge comes when people are fraudulent or people are not honest. But if the member is going through a financial squeeze, there we've been able to support. How can we support you? Shortfall, we have financial people who provide finances in BNI. We've had people who've been able to leverage those relationships and get credit and turn around their businesses. During COVID, when the world was shut down, we created support groups where people just come and talk about their businesses. And all these things are really can be individually targeted, or they can be group. We train on tax, as I told you. This is support to the business owner, who's like, how do I grow? How do I start? Where do I start? So all this happens in the ecosystem that you're in. As the national office team, I get involved where you need a hand, and we see how we can help you. But the core group, the core team is able to work with you to support you for the most part.
I mean, Diana has said it all, and Agre and I pledge to come for the next meeting. We've been invited. Next Friday, I'll be at Sky's Hotel. At Sky's Hotel, 6:30. And I'm going to share with you guys my experience. Because I know it's going to be a great one.
Thank you.
I mean, what else do you guys need, right? You have BNI, I've shared with you other support systems. They say entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, but I'm offering to you support and network support as well, referrals, right? So please, let's look for that money and join BNI. But the beauty is, she said you can start with a visit. So just one more thing, if I'm to come for a visit, is there anyone I can contact, or do I still go to BNI? Uganda.com?
BNI. So what happens? Come just search BNIuganda.com. Look for the hotel. look for Achievers chapter.
Yes,
Achievers chapter.
Achievers,
I'll be in the Achievers chapter meeting next week.
Next week,
The meeting fee is 70,000 at Sky's Hotel.
Yeah.
You can also call. I'll give you a contact.
So for context, it will be this week.
This week. Okay.
Yeah, for when it airs,
That
it
is
will be
12.
this week on Friday, 12.
Okay, yes, 12.
Yes, Achievers.
Okay. So the contact is Eve 0773
Yeah.
40 95 89.
We shall link it down. So make sure you call and we meet. And when
if
you
you
get
can't
there,
attend on Friday, she can let you know a day when you can.
Yeah, you
join
can
us.
always contact me if you're interested in knowing more about BNI. Please reach out to me like you always do, and I'll be happy to share with you the details and make the right connections to Diana and the rest of her team. I can't thank you enough, Diana.
Thank you.
I know we've been missing each other, but
Yes.
I'm so happy this conversation happened because I have interacted with businesses that have actually benefited from BNI, benefited greatly from BNI, and there is value.
Thank you so
Right? So thank you so much for sharing and for whatever you do, the work that you do with BNI and the support that you offer, and for lending to us your legal sharp brains. For us in the business world, we really appreciate it, and we wish you all the best with BNI, and we'll definitely be in touch because I'm sure so many people are going to reach out like they have, and I'll always, reach out to you and the team. So thank you again for your time. So guys, bniuganda.com is the website that you need to visit, and then let's start this business together. Like I said, we are here to support each other in business. So let's rise and thrive together in our businesses. Till the next episode.